Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into one of the biggest trends in wellness to answer a pretty simple question. Can a few minutes in freezing water actually help you control your appetite? Let's get into the science.
I mean, you've seen it everywhere, right? Athletes, celebrities, all these biohackers jumping into tubs of ice. And they claim it does a ton of stuff, from recovery to, yes, appetite control. But is that for real? Is there any actual science to back that claim up? We're going to find out. Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we've got to start with your body's own internal messaging system. It really all comes down to a constant conversation happening between two key hormones that tell your brain when it's time to eat and, maybe more importantly, when it's time to stop. All right, think of it like this. You've got these two key players, almost like a traffic light system for your hunger. First, there's ghrelin. When your stomach's empty, it pumps the stuff out, and it's basically screaming, "Green light, go, eat." Then you've got its counterpart, leptin, which comes from your fat cells. Leptin is the red light. It tells your brain, hey, stop, we're good, we've got plenty of energy. A healthy appetite is all about keeping these two in balance. So where does the cold plunge come in? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Research is showing that cold exposure can actually tell that hunger horn ghrelin to quiet down for a bit. At the same time, if you do it regularly, it can make your brain a better listener to leptin's "I'm full" signal. And the result? Over time, you can get more regulated hunger and even better portion control. But wait, it gets even more interesting. This isn't just about your stomach. The real action, the most powerful and immediate effects of a cold plunge happen straight in your brain. It's like a hard reset for your brain chemistry. The second that icy water hits you, your body goes into like full-on survival mode. And it does that by flooding your system with something called norepinephrine. This stuff is a super powerful neurotransmitter that basically puts your brain on high alert, sharpening your focus and jacking up your energy. And this quote right here just nails it. When your brain is swimming in norepinephrine, its priorities change, big time. It becomes so laser focused on just dealing with the cold that things like cravings and snacking, they just fade into the background. Survival becomes way more important than finding a snack. But that's not all. While that intense focus is happening, something else is going on in the background. Cold plunges also kick off a slow but really sustained release of dopamine. You know, the feel-good molecule that's all about reward and motivation. And unlike the quick dopamine hit you might get from junk food, this is a much longer-lasting mood boost. And here's the kicker. When you've got this natural, sustained dopamine boost, you're less likely to go reaching for a snack out of boredom or stress. It can actually help break that whole cycle of emotional eating, where you're eating because of how you feel, not because you're actually hungry. All right, now let's get to what might be the coolest part of this whole story. We're going to talk about a special kind of fat in your body, one that, when you get cold, acts way more like a muscle that burns calories than the fat you're used to hearing about. It's called brown adipose tissue, or BAT for short. And you should really think of it as your body's own personal furnace. See, regular white fat just stores calories, but brown fat, its whole job is to burn fuel, to burn calories, to generate heat and keep you warm. And that blast of cold from a plunge, that's the switch that flips this furnace on. Okay, so firing up this furnace is awesome. It's burning calories, generating heat, but the benefits don't actually stop there. When you activate brown fat, it sends out signals that can improve the metabolic health of your entire body. So how on earth does it do that? Well, the secret is a critical hormone, a kind of secret messenger protein that gets a huge boost from the cold and plays a massive role in your overall metabolic health. So this messenger is a hormone called adiponectin. And honestly, it's a total rock star for your metabolic health. It helps your body manage blood sugar. It helps you use insulin better. In fact, having low levels of this stuff is one of the key signs of insulin resistance. And get this, the effect of cold on this hormone it's just staggering. One key study found that after 2 hours of cold exposure, men saw their adiponectin levels shoot up by a whopping 70%. I mean, that is a massive boost for a hormone that's so important for how your body functions. And you know, this wasn't just some fluke in one study. The research is really consistent on this. The link is clear. You get cold, your body makes a lot more of this incredibly helpful hormone. It connects all the dots between the cold plunge, that brown fat furnace, and better overall metabolism. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and put all these pieces of the puzzle together. Because it's not just one thing, right? It's this amazing cascade of things happening at once: hormonal, neurological, and metabolic, all working together to help regulate your appetite. So let's break it down. Think about it in stages. In the short term, right after you get out of the cold, your appetite is down because ghrelin is suppressed, and you've got all that norepinephrine making you feel focused. Then, in the medium term, that sustained dopamine boost helps you build better habits around food. And then, for the long game, by activating that brown fat and boosting adiponectin over and over, you can actually improve your fundamental metabolic health. So, if you're thinking about trying this, how can you make it work best for you? Well, timing can actually make a big difference. Doing a plunge first thing in the morning can really fire up your metabolism. Doing it after a workout can help knock down that huge hunger spike a lot of us feel. And a really cool trick: a quick plunge right before a meal can be a super powerful way to naturally turn down those hunger signals and help with portion control. So look, a cold plunge isn't some magic pill for weight loss, let's be clear, but the science is solid. It is a really powerful tool that hits your appetite from a bunch of different angles. Which kind of leaves us with this one big question to chew on. In our crazy modern world, what other ancient, powerful, natural stressors like this have we totally forgotten about?